It's the Scotty Ray Report, reliable, fast, and true. Headlines, weather, local news, he brings it all to you. From the courthouse to the back roads, he don't miss a thing. Traffic storms, communities on top of everything. Bringing you the news you need at home or on your drive. Listen in, it's Scotty Ray time.
And good morning, already Tuesday and cold, 28-ish as you wake up this morning to face the sunshine and maybe get some eggs.
Burr. It is definitely a winter hit come through.
Well, do you feel older? You celebrated your birthday yesterday. You got that?
I don't really feel that much older, but had a great birthday. You swing by and Amy put together a nice little table down there, and I had a wonderful birthday at El Norte.
Nice
Carlos, Raphael, they took great care of us. Had a good time with some good friends, and enjoyed every bit of it with the 55.
55.
And then I made a little slip up yesterday when we talked about it. I named the wrong company. But that dog that we were talking about.
You got to refresh me. I don't know what you're talking about.
The owner dropped her off to be boarded, and she went on vacation and passed away. And the family can't come get the dog, and they were going to just have to find somebody to take this dog over. It was at Ivy League Boarding Kennels is where this was.
Is this locally?
Yeah. But update on Sadie, the owner's brother is coming to get her tomorrow, and that was 11 hours ago. So he's going to be there today. He knows the dog knows him. So sad situation, but
it happens.
The dog's going to be with someone that the dog knows. So it all turned good for poor Sadie.
I'm glad. So I'd forgotten you even brought that up there.
That was a tough deal when you hear about a puppy dog, because that puppy dog can't understand that Mama passed away and not coming back to get me. So that was good.
Well, good morning to you. As we said, it's cold. And how long did it take you, Andy, to get to our studio from your house?
I plan on 2 hours. I drove through, I counted 7 counties driving through here from, I live in the country out in Simpson County,
right,
just south of Star.
I need you to tell Sheriff Todd Kemp that his hour, he's just being a winner. He complained about it last time he drove down.
Hey, I got to watch the sun come up on the way to the Scotty Ray show this morning.
Man, there you go.
A lot's been going on. You just ended the Dixie National Rodeo there in Jackson. How did it turn out this year?
It was a great rodeo. We had, I think, the largest number of contestants we've ever had, and a near-record attendance, near-record Dixie National. I'm excited about next year. We're already thinking about next year, but it's a month-long event. I mean, really and truly, it's not only just the rodeo, it's the livestock show, the horse shows, all the great events that happen. You got the wagon train, you got the East Mississippi ride coming in from the wagon train over this way, and it's just a convergence of some of the greatest people all over Mississippi at the Dixie National, the largest rodeo and livestock show east of the Mississippi River.
And let me ask this, because this has got to be tough as you put this together. The Dixie National Rodeo has always been known for great entertainment. Yeah. How long does it take to book that nowadays?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, we start booking it right now, actually. We try to, we
stay ahead.
We can't afford $1 million act, but we look at who's coming and some of the classic artists as well as the up-and-coming artists.
Right.
To try to book those ahead of time, and we had 2 sellout shows this year. We're just excited. Muscadine Bloodline was one of them. Old 60 was another one. Some folks may never heard of those groups, but the young people love them. They're up and coming.
Sold out.
And sold out. That's right.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So we're already booking those acts. And if you have ideas out there, if you want to hear a particular group at the rodeo next year, shoot us an email. Shoot me an email.
Seriously, that does matter, because you'll be sitting there thinking, you go, well, I didn't think of that. And sometimes you get a good price there.
That's exactly right. I mean, we love to get the ideas of people, and people know what kind of music they like. So let us know. You go to DixieNational.org, send us a message, and let us know who you'd like to hear next year at the rodeo.
So let me ask this. This is I can remember as a kid when I started out. My first job was fooling with cows and bush hogging at $2 an hour is what I made as a kid. I think I was 14 when I started driving me a little tractor there. Have you come up with anything to get these cattle gaps open that's simpler? I can remember as a kid trying to lean in with my shoulder. You know how they teach you to get your shoulder into that fence to undo that loop?
I do. I know. You know, this morning we have gates in our house. I live in the middle of a pasture, actually. Our cows are out there around us. And I woke up this morning. It was before 5 o'clock, and I got some electric gates, and somebody took my remote control out of my truck. I got to get out the old-fashioned way. Over the gate. Cost me a few minutes, but it reminded me of those good old times. But yeah, that's hard work. Raising beef cattle. It's one of the top products of Mississippi, though, and we're proud to promote everything grown, raised, crafted, and made, including our beef right here in Mississippi. We raise it better than anybody else, and proud of it.
Let me ask this: as you say that, what is the number one industry when it comes to agriculture in Mississippi? How does it flow? What is the top 5?
Chicken. All right, chicken is number 1. Poultry is number 1. And I may have told this story, but let me give you the top 5, and then I'll go back on poultry. Poultry. Forestry, a lot of forestry right here in the Meridian.
Yeah.
Is number 2, and then soybeans, cotton, corn, and then beef cattle. So that's your top 6 right there. Beyond that, anything that's worth raising, we raise in Mississippi: rice, sweet potatoes, blueberries, you name it, vegetables. Yeah. We do it as good or better than anybody else. But poultry is number 1. I may have told you this story. I was at one poultry plant in Carthage, Mississippi, and they were processing chickens that day, and I was trying to keep count, and I asked the plant manager, how many birds y'all processing today? He said, Commissioner, we'll process 400,000 chickens today, 400,000 tomorrow. We do 2 million a week right here at this one plant, just one plant.
Wow.
I said, where does all that chicken go? And he said, sir, 60% goes to Chick-fil-A. And then I said, when my jaw quit hitting the ground, what do y'all do before Chick-fil-A? And his only answer was, we thank God for Chick-fil-A. And
that's God's
too.
Chicken.
So if you're eating Chick-fil-A with them 2 pickles, it's a good chance you're eating Mississippi chicken. And
I did not know that.
Wow. Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's the number 1. All right, for example, last year in Mississippi agriculture, we had nearly $10 billion of farm production, farm gate value, before any processing. Of that $9.5 billion, over $4 billion was poultry. All right, so that's how big chicken is in the state of Mississippi. Nearly half of the total ag value.
What about our catfish? Are we still running?
We are number 1 in catfish. Actually, Mississippi is number 1 in our catfish production of all other states in America that produce fish. But when you compare it to the value, it's probably number 11 or 12 in terms of our overall industry.
Wow.
We gauge that by the value of production in a particular year, and it varies from year to year, but poultry's been number 1 for the last 20 or 30 years anyway.
I hate to point this out, but I feel that I have to. It's easy to tell your wife doesn't dress you like our wives don't dress her. Did you even know today was St. Patrick's Day you're supposed to wear green? I forgot.
I forgot all
We did. Well, join the club.
Today neither.
I was thinking about what kind of pinch I could get.
I'm gonna have to find me something green to stick on.
Well,
there's a 4-H pen. I'll get me a 4-H pen and stick it on when I get to the office.
I mean, it totally slipped my mind when I walked
St.
out.
Patrick's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Look for a 4-leaf clover out there if the frost don't get it off.
And I can't remember the last time I found, because it used to be tradition in the South, and y'all tell me if this has changed, that if you found a 4-leaf clover, you wouldn't put it in your Bible. Is that still a thing?
I've known people who've done that. I've only found one in my whole life.
That's what I am.
A testimony to my luck or what, but I don't know where I put it. I don't have it anymore. But yeah, I told my kids one day last week, I said, y'all get ready to look for that 4-leaf clover. They'll be out there looking around, I'm sure.
Already, what is it, 10 minutes after the hour? It's cool 28 this morning as you wake up. Coming up, we're going to talk more with Andy. We got some things that have gone on. Andy is going to be asking for your vote as he runs for governor of the great state of Mississippi. We're going to find out some more of his platforms and see if y'all are on the same page of what he believes and what you believe. Important to know what people are doing when they run for office, and that's why he's here.
That's right.
We'll be back.
Bring on long days, sweltering heat, and acres that just won't end. Exmark mowers were born to deliver legendary reliability, signature cut quality, and stubborn durability that refuses to give in. Because like you, Exmark mowers were built for this. Visit your local dealer or explore an Exmark online for special finance offers available now.
When your windshield cracks, you need someone you can trust. At Advanced Auto Glass by Joey, experience matters. We handle everything from rock chips to full replacements, even power window repair, servicing all vehicle types. Let us keep you safe and back on the road. We are local, proud to serve you with honest, reliable service. Call us today at 601-286-3405. Advanced Auto Glass by Joey, certified, trusted, local.
Hi, folks. Paul Brown with Dixie Buildings. We're here to take care of all your building needs for your personal and your business needs. That includes portable buildings, carports, sheds. Don't forget your hunting camps are coming in. You can start out with our 8x10s. If we cannot haul it, we can.
Welcome back, and we do appreciate it by joining. We need your help. I'm going to show you a picture here and see if you. It's not a lot, but we need you to look at a description of somebody and see if you recognize them. Now, I had someone in the comments go, "Why are you calling that Causeyville?" Well, because it's called Causeyville. The Causeyville exit right off Highway 45, better known as Judge T's store. As we were sitting here right at midnight as the storms came through and we had warnings being issued north of us and we had a tornado watch issued for here, there was somebody that was thinking evil. I don't want to work tomorrow. I want something free. And that's exactly what they did. They broke into the door of Judge T's store, formerly known as Judge T's store.
Yeah.
Let me word it that way.
It's like Superstock. There'll
Yes.
always be Superstock.
But here's the fella that did this. Once inside, this is what he looks like. Now, this is Nike shoes is what he's wearing. They're gray. Let me zoom in on this a little bit closer. A white fella, as you can tell. There's some form of tattoo there. Walks around with some gloves he may have borrowed from somewhere else. With a North Face jacket. Now,
Somebody knows somebody that fits that description.
it is. And pay attention to your cameras. We might have been spotted in the Clarkdale community yesterday afternoon also. We had someone peering into a business there that didn't have any business there. So P's and Q's until this person is brought to justice for the thievery that they did at this business, just uncalled for, took something wasn't theirs, and we hope that this will reach someone who recognizes that person.
Yeah.
We had a traffic jam on 8th Street yesterday.
That's a hot spot right there.
It was. Officer of the Year, Miss Washington, was all over it. She was directing traffic, and let me just show you how it worked there. This is right in front of the Hair Queen. See, she's getting all on that traffic. Slow down. And we had the front of this bumper just totally removed there.
Ow.
That is a hot spot for little boo-boos that happen in that area there. That's a busy little intersection there.
That's a busy little business.
It is. A lot of people visit that. So always keep that in mind. We had just a slowing of traffic there for a few moments.
Yep. Make the block and get right back on there and go again. Just be careful while you're out there.
And we had a nasty, another little situation that no one was hurt in this, but the Texas turnaround is the second most confusing intersection, and I'll tell you the other one in just a second here. But we had a little boo-boo go on there, 2 cars there, and that right lane was blocked for a little while there. As you'll see, here's the other car. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think is maybe not as many wrecks there, but it's the most confusing place in Meridian, Mississippi.
North Frontage Road at the interstate at Queen City Truck Stop.
How'd you know I was going there?
Because it's the only other place. It's
If you
almost
take
as
a
confusing
right
as it is.
at Waters International and you try to go I-20 to Jackson, you get up there and you go, who goes?
You cross everybody else's lane with the right of way.
Correct. And it makes no sense. I'm just shocked that there's not more wrecks there. I went through it the other day on a Sunday morning. I thought, gosh, I'm glad nobody's coming because I ain't sure who's got the right of way.
And you just think, we live here. Just think of those poor people who don't.
Get off just to get some fuel, and they go, there's a place coming into to Mobile, and y'all see if y'all can correct this. It's where the Bass Pro Shop is if you're coming back to Meridian. We got off there one time, and I liked to never got back to Meridian.
So if you're in the right
You know what I'm
lane,
talking about?
oh yeah, headed north to get on the interstate to come back, you actually crisscross and you change direction. So you're actually in the left lane going north to get on the interstate.
It didn't work out for me. And I made a vow. I'll never stop here again. I mean, it took us 20-something minutes to figure out how to get back to Meridian.
Well, they got the signs painted on the ground.
Yeah, I didn't see that. When you got 12 cars in front of you, you can't see the road.
That's where the Cracker Barrel is, too, as I recall. I've gotten off there to give some biscuits at the Cracker Barrel.
No,
Getting back on.
speaking of the Cracker Barrel here in Meridian, who's ended up at the local motel trying to get to Cracker Barrel? That little driveway.
Right in between everything else.
Somebody needs to buy those little reflectors that you can buy and just go stick it in the ground.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
I've missed it. Andy, you're running for governor.
Yes, sir.
And we need to know that there's a lot of people that claim this, that, and the other, but I take you as a true blue, what you say is the real deal after talking to you. And I believe in you. I really do. Tell us what you plan. If you're elected governor, what kind of changes can you make for us for the better of Mississippi? What have you got in store for us?
Well, I'll tell you, one of them is public safety. I've talked about this at every speech I've given. As I've traveled Mississippi, I hear from local towns and communities there is a growing criminal element out there. I'd say it's got to be handled. I think I told you last time we're going to form a statewide law enforcement task force to work with our local sheriffs, work with our local municipalities, make sure we enforce the law. If people don't feel safe, nothing else matters. So public safety is number one, and then I want to make sure we get in position to meet the food needs, food, fiber, and shelter of the rest of the next generation. I attended a conference last year in Wyoming, all 50 state ag commissioners, and they told us something that really got my attention, because the water's drying up out west. California's drying up. The Midwest, the West is drying up. They said in the next 20 years, now this was last year, so 19 years from now, the food supply of America will depend on the southeastern United States for one simple reason: water. We get 52 inches of rainfall. We have abundant below-ground aquifers and above-ground reservoirs, and it's our water that's going to set the stage not only for our food, meeting our local food needs here as a state, but for the whole country. And I am so tired of depending on foreign countries, foreigners, for dumping their cheap product over here. And we have been doing that for so long, we've gotten addicted to it. But you show me a country that can't feed itself, and I'll show you the weakest country in the world.
You are right.
Today at 10 o'clock, I'm going to cut the ribbon on the 62,000 square foot hydroponic lettuce facility to grow lettuce and produce indoors, hydroponics, water, use of water that'll supply restaurants all over Mississippi and all over the southeastern United States. So that's just one example. I'll tell them today, every good meal begins with a salad, but it doesn't end there. All right, we got to have the beef processing. We got to bring back the processing for everything that we grow. We've outsourced so much of it to foreign countries, and we need to bring it right back here to Mississippi. We can do for sweet potatoes what we do for chicken, for example. We process it all right here. We send it to Chick-fil-A. Ever who wants to buy it locally, we need to feed ourselves first, and then we can worry about the rest of the world. But that's the secret, and that is my economic plan, is to take the state's already largest industry and let's double it by value adding to it by processing what we already grow right here in Mississippi. Bringing back jobs, bringing back industry. No reason in the world we can't process our own cotton in Mississippi. We send it over to Asia and buy it back on Temu because of the cheap labor over there. But modern technology is going to allow us to bring that back in Mississippi. So that's a big aspect of it. And then freedom. I want Mississippians to have the same freedom and opportunities that folks all over the country have. That's my program, and I'm excited. Of all the people talking about running for governor, I'm the only one with both the legislative leadership experience and executive leadership experience. And on top of that, I got private sector experience. And I want to make sure we stay grounded in our rural values in Mississippi. Agriculture, we are an ag state. We need to always be an ag state, not opposed to other economic developments, but you can't eat data and you can't eat solar. You've got to eat food. And no matter what AI is going to do, and I have no idea what it's going to do, I don't think anybody really does long term. But one thing I know, people always need to eat. they'll always need health care. They're going to get sick and need to be cared for, and they'll always need education. And so these are the things I want to bring back to Mississippi and make sure we position our state to be a leader, not only in food production, but economic growth for the rest of the country as well.
Now, you brought up health care, and I think this is a major concern for Mississippians as we see what's happening nationwide. We see it here in Meridian, to where you're no longer treated in Meridian.
Right.
Anything, you get transferred to another city. Is there anything that we can do to bring back emphasis on health care to our state?
There absolutely is. Right now, the Trump administration has issued what's called Rural Health Transformation Funds. And these are funds that are going to states to make sure that we reach back into our rural areas and make sure people out in the country or wherever you live in the city have opportunities to be served in your particular area. And one of the things that they're focusing on that ties right into agriculture is getting back to basic health, like eating healthy foods. Last year we started something called Make Mississippi Healthy Again, to try to tie on to Make America Healthy Again. You are what you eat. And so much of health care is actually preventative. If we can get back, get people eating more blueberries and sweet potatoes. Those are two super foods right there that will keep you healthy the way God intended. And these rural health transformation funds are designed to incorporate some of that, basic lifestyle improvement, eating healthier foods, getting those healthy foods back in our schools, getting them back in our institutions around the state, and also telehealth and being able to treat people with the modern technology that we have right where you are locally without having to go 50 miles out of here for this and 70 miles out of here for this. The Rural Health Transformation Funds, it will be administered by the governor, and I want to be that governor to make sure we take care of our people across the state. As I said, food and health care and education, those three things will be here and will be a priority no matter what else happens, no matter what else changes in the world of modern technology.
As you brought up that about what's in our food, as we all see this RFK going, did y'all know this is in this product?
Oh, yeah.
And you're right, we do need to put limits on what can be eased into our products that we don't know about.
Yeah, that's right. Last year, we were the third state in America, Mississippi was, to pass a bill to outlaw this cell-cultured, lab-grown meat. It's fake meat, artificial meat that's being harvested in Europe and grown in a petri dish and multiplied into something they call meat. It's not meat. It's some manufactured product.
That can't be good for you.
It is not. It's not natural. We need to be eating food that God intended for us to eat, minimal processed, less additives, less chemicals, and that's something we're focused on. I'm really excited. I just got a deal done where we're selling Mississippi blueberries to our local schools, and now we're selling Mississippi blueberries to the prison system. All right, so that's another huge cost to healthcare right there.
Antioxidants.
Yeah, high antioxidants, fighting cancer. We can do that for everything else, but we gotta get. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. If you keep eating junk food, you're gonna have junky health. And I want to bring that, get back to the basics. I remember the campaign a few years back to go walking. Well, walking's important, exercise is important, but don't forget you are what you eat. So that healthy eating, and that's another reason why it's important we have our local food supply. It's less processed, it's less added to, it's less chemicalized, if you will, and better for you to eat. So we're going to make that a priority. We're doing it right now, and we're going to continue that and take it to the next level when I'm your next governor.
We saw where we were in the national news spotlight with education with our fourth grade reading, and I think that is awesome. That is something great. But reading's not the only thing we've got to focus on. So what are other aspects of our education do you see that we could enhance, we could better, and how could we do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I've traveled this whole state, all 82 counties, more than one time. I've been to all 82 counties and talking to people around the state. I ask every business, whether it's agriculture or your local manufacturing, processing, whatever it may be. The number one issue is we need people who work. We need people who can actually have skills and do the jobs that we need to do. And we have done a good beginning of that, I think, with our state's workforce development program. But what we have to do is get back to something more basic than that. And that's, you remember the old VOTEX programs in our local schools where kids learn how they learn how to do shop, they learn how to weld. These are the kind of skills that people are looking for to hire all across Mississippi. And these are high-paying jobs, skilled jobs that young people need to be plugged into. So that involves science, it involves math. Reading is absolutely critical. I was in the legislature when we passed that third grade reading gate to make sure kids could read before they advance. A child can read, can teach themselves from there on out. But getting back to those basic skills that we used to see in the shop class. I mean, these are the plumbers and pipe fitters and builders and workers. But we also have to do something that is not being emphasized, and that is instilling in our young people the value of work, okay? It's not right for a young person to grow up and think that life is sitting on a couch waiting, for somebody to give them a handout. We have to show them the value of work, that when you actually learn that skill and you do that job, that is adding value not only for you as a person, but for your family, for your local community. And getting that back into our schools is going to be important, bringing that aspect of workforce at a younger age to make sure we have the next generation of young people who are ready to work and want to work.
I'm in agreement with all of that. We got a lot more coming up with Andy. Y'all hang around. This is Andy Gibson. We're going to tell you more about him and his bid for governorship. As we always say, we really want the best for the great state of Mississippi. We'll find out more about that in just a moment. If your car needs any kind of maintenance, see our friends at Eastgate Tire Service in Meridian, Mississippi. They've been doing this for over 35 years. It started out with Matthew's dad, and they're still doing business today. That's tires, oil changes, brakes, shocks, AC work. If you need an alignment, they've got that as well. You'll find them there in Meridian. Drop in today. See them at Eastgate Tire Service, 601-482-1432 on Dale Drive.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If you track
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. There's going to be something going on in the county today we want you to be aware of. It's going to be some folks there walking in the middle of the road, and they're going to be putting stripes down. Let me explain to you why they're doing that. They're restriping some roads. Yeah. Be careful. We don't want anybody injured, but it's going to be good for you because you don't have to figure out what side of the road you're on. This is going to be Newton Martin Road, Lauderdale Road, Spring Hill Road, Luther Walker Road, and Chip Pickering Drive. That's up by the NAS Meridian. Yep. They're going to be out. Here's the different areas. Let me just click on some pictures and show you here. As Newton Martin, we'll do Lauderdale Road there. This is right here, Spring Hill. That's Clarkdale Community. And then Luther Walker Road, and then Chip Pickering Drive there. So they'll be busy today getting this completed. Hopefully they'll get it done all today.
If you see these workers out there, just slow down, and you might have to wait a turn or so, but leave a little extra early. But look, as soon as they get done, sooner they can leave. So just work with them, and it's going to be for the benefit of all of us.
We had a traffic light go out, and one of the worst places you can have that is around a Walmart. And so MPD had to get out and do some manual stuff right there in front of Walmart on Highway 19 North. We had the traffic light go down, and it was probably 4 p.m. before that got fixed. So that caused a little havoc in that area there of Highway 19 yesterday.
Well, people don't realize, and I don't know if it's in that book because they don't talk about four-way stops in our driver's license manual, but if the light goes out and you come to an intersection, it's an automatic four-way stop. But I guess we've got to teach what a four-way stop is and how to operate a four-way stop before we can expect people to use.
I'm gonna hook you up
stop.
with Sean Tyndall. You and him have a chit chat about that. I was riding around yesterday, and I remember the night that this house caught on fire. It was a big blaze. They saved it from burning all the way to the ground, but it is coming to the ground now, and it's just been in Meridian's background on the side of the road for so long. This is before you reach Anderson's Hospital there on Highway 14th Street. Highway 14. But you see, they got a backhoe sitting right up in the middle of it amongst it. It was homeless people living in it, and that's 24th Avenue. Right there by the Texaco, and it is coming to the ground. As you can tell, it was burned. Set at second floor. Has that fire destroyed that? They were there a few weeks ago taking out doors and things that could be salvaged from it. It's a goner. I think that house was built in the early 1900s.
And, you know, it was the Bridge Club for a while.
I didn't know that.
I don't know what else, if it did anything else after it became the resident part of it went, but there for a little while I knew it was the Bridge Club. Any of our great fans, y'all know what that was, if it was anything besides a residence in a bridge club. But yeah, it's a staple in Meridian for a long time.
All right, Senator Jeff Tate had a question for you.
Yeah.
He wants to know about law enforcement. He said you had made a comment somewhere about adding extra law enforcement to cities that need it, like Meridian.
Yes, Senator, good to hear from you out there, and you're doing a great job in the state Senate. I have learned a lot about law enforcement. I'm not a law enforcement officer, but I am a chief executive, and one of my jobs the last 8 years has been to run the state fairgrounds in the middle of Jackson, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So what I have learned from this experience is that you can have public safety, and it begins with having simply a good law enforcement presence on the ground, okay? When there's a good, solid presence of law enforcement, and we've assembled a team of local police, Hinds County Sheriff, statewide law enforcement, including our ag theft agents, the Highway Patrol, Department of Public Safety. We've even had wildlife officers down there patrolling during the state fair, for example. But everybody coming together on the ground, a good representation of law enforcement. When you do that, then the criminal element, A, they don't cause trouble, and B, what they learn is they don't want to be down there, okay? I remember we put in place some new safety protocols, and we had to arrest about a dozen people the first night of the fair, and after that, they stayed away. The word got out on social media. You don't want to be down the fairgrounds, all right?
Don't go.
That's what we need in our local communities, to help our police chiefs, to help our sheriffs at their request, to assemble and send statewide law enforcement to really just have a presence there. And I think when we do that, you're going to see an automatic increase in public safety, because we will have to arrest the wrongdoers, the evildoers.
Correct.
But you make an example of them, and the word's going to spread like wildfire, like the old saying, "Get out of Dodge." They want to get out of Dodge. They don't want to be in that area where the law enforcement's going to be staging there. So I think on day number one, I know on day number one, I'm going to form a public safety task force of all statewide law enforcement to work with our local police, work with our local sheriffs in high crime areas, and go in and do in local communities what needs to be done to make sure people feel safe. Everybody has a right in this state and in this country to have a safe community. I mean, you shouldn't feel in danger to walk out of your house or go to the store. And the only way we get there is by ramping up our law enforcement presence, supporting our law enforcement, and having that presence out there, backing them up, letting them do their job. And when they do, the criminals will get in line or get out of Dodge.
That reminded me, and I think all of us can remember being in church. There's two types in church. There's the parent who will take care of a child who acts up, and then the ones that don't. My mama could have stared at me, and I knew that I was in trouble, and I would stop whatever I was doing. And that's what it boils down with law enforcement being there. They know without anything being done, There's something fixing to happen.
It wasn't just my mama. There was some other people in that church turn around and look at me and make me sit up straight.
Look, we just came through exactly, and we just came out of an administration in the last several years of trying to defund the police and backing off the support of the police. We have to go the opposite direction and say we support our law enforcement. Look, we want to have their back and let them do their job and keep our communities safe. That's where we need to be as a state, and that's what I'll do when I'm your next governor.
And let's say this. We had somebody that just joined us that I don't think knew who you were. Let me show y'all. This is Andy Gibson. He is running for governor.
That's right.
He is a commissioner of agriculture. Tell us, for those that don't know you, a little bit about your background, your family, and all about you there.
Yeah. Absolutely. I grew up in the country out in Rankin County and moved to our family farm in Simpson County, just across the county line when I was 18 years old. Decided to live on the farm, met my wife Leslie at Mississippi College where I graduated, and we made a decision to raise our family on the farm. We have 4 children, Joseph, Benjamin, Abigail, and Sarah. I am not only a farmer, but also a businessman. I've been a successful attorney in the private sector, putting deals together, made a good living for 20 years doing that. Ran for the legislature, got elected, served a dozen years, was pro-life legislator of the year, wrote House Bill 1510 that overturned Roe versus Wade. Second Amendment supporter. I received the NRA's Defender of Freedom Award for bringing back our Second Amendment rights. And then I was named Agriculture Commissioner, and the good people of Mississippi elected me twice to that, two full terms, and representing our state's largest industry, agriculture. In that role, it's not just agriculture, but it's also commerce. So I've done 22 economic development projects. We'll do another one today to open the salad production, lettuce production facility in Flora, Mississippi, and also running the state fairgrounds during the Dixie National, during the state fair as well, and that's given me that law enforcement experience I talked about. And bottom line is, I believe that Mississippi deserves and needs proven conservative leadership. I want to provide that leadership. I'm a Christian. In addition to my other responsibilities, I'm an ordained Baptist preacher. I preach every Sunday morning at Corinth Baptist Church in McGee, Mississippi. And so I'm very involved in my local community, and I believe we have to stay true to our values as believers, as well as our values as Mississippians, our rural way of life. A lot is changing in Mississippi. We have to stay grounded. We have to stay rooted in the basic truth and value that we have as a state, as a people. And I want to provide leadership for this state for the next generation. The reason I'm running is our 4 kids, Joseph, Benjamin, Abigail, Sarah, and they represent to me all the next generation of this state, the young people, children, grandchildren. We want Mississippi to be on the right path, the right trajectory, get back to our conservative values, and work with the legislature in a way that's productive and not dysfunctional, and actually get things done. I have experience doing that, and I will carry that into the office if you are gracious enough to elect me to serve as your next governor.
I know that you talked about this before. If you would touch on it again, we talked about the beef and where we stand here in Mississippi, and wanting to bring more beef processing plants and all that. But the one thing we're going to need to do that is land that is owned by Mississippians and not foreign national entities.
Yeah.
So what is your stance on how our foreign entities are coming in and buying up our land?
I am deeply disturbed by the growth of foreign ownership of our land. In Mississippi, USDA reported last year that 1 million acres of our farmland is now owned by
1 million?
1 million acres of farmland is now owned by foreign interests. That's a voluntary reporting system that doesn't include what we don't know. So I'm going to stop that, all right? We have got to make sure our land is owned by Americans, owned by Mississippians for the sake of our food security. Food security is national security. These other countries coming in here buying up our land understand the importance of food production. As the West is drying up, as the Midwest is drying up, food production is going to be centered here in the Southeast. And Mississippi can and will be a leader in this, but we can't do it if we don't own our land. And so keeping our farmers operating, keeping our farms going, getting more young people involved, and we're going to stop the bleeding on this foreign farmland acquisition and make sure we keep American agriculture American, and Mississippi agriculture in Mississippi.
Who didn't realize it was a million acres. We got a lot more to talk about this morning. It tootling right along there.
Tootling?
Tootling. I've been tongue twisted since I lost my sleep on Sunday night. I couldn't get, what was the word I couldn't pronounce this morning?
Oh, golly.
What was that I got twisted on?
Well, one of them was Starbucks.
Yeah, I couldn't get Starbucks out. And I just kept slurring it. And my apologies, I'm getting better. We'll be right back. Those LS tractors are rolling in to Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 in Cicalina. Keith and the gang will have a LS tractor that fits your needs, from a professional end of it, or maybe it's just deer plots that you need a tractor for. Starting at a 26 horsepower, 40 horsepower, or even larger. Don't forget to ask about that 0% financing as well. Parts, a new tractor, or a tall tale. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494 in Collinsville. Call them at 626-8759. That's Freeman Tractor. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North, is ready for spring. From weed eaters to push and riding lawnmowers, and one of the largest selections you'll find in chainsaws, along with power tools and generators for backup power. Maybe you're in the market for a TV or maybe a guitar. And not to mention a large selection of diamond rings and Louis Vuitton purses. The Rockhouse Gun and Pawn even has a private lobby for your pawns for confidentiality. Visit them today, Highway 19 North, Rockhouse Gun and Pawn. The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 1957, and now serving Meridian homeowners.
On a hot day chasing crime in Meridian, to make a man thirsty, there's no better way than an ice-cold Coca-Cola to quench your thirst.
Or an ice-cold Diet Coke if you prefer that flavor.
No matter where you're at, stop by a local store and support that store and Meridian Coca-Cola. They're supporting us every day.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I don't know, you don't get to see a picture like this very often, but Mathis Peaches yesterday. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Is that not pretty?
You go in the snow to go get your butter beans.
All in, 20 minutes there? We had this blow through yesterday morning.
We had all 4 seasons yesterday.
Yes, sir, we sure did. Poof. It sure changed the way things were being done there. Let's see here. They're talking about the Sawashi. Maybe some things are going to be done there as we got a statement there of what's going on at the courthouse over this.
So you know, Kemp, when he was mayor, he actually went to Washington and pitched this idea, and a lot of people were interested in it, and that is damming up some of Sawashi that comes through town and making a waterfront out of it.
Kind of like they do in San Antonio.
I'm not sure what would be a comparison, but you could have a couple of boats and develop restaurants, and now you've got the new government complex right there on the side of it with land to sell that industry or businesses could come to. So now they're looking at ways to find money and get that going without going up on taxes. And speaking about taxes, you've got some good ideas about bringing in more industry and what that does with our state tax. Is that going to make our taxes rise, or the property taxes that go along with it? What are your ideas on the taxes that we have to pay here in Mississippi?
Well, we're paying too much tax. All right. Well, I can speak for my own farm, my own place. I believe we're paying more in property taxes than we should have to pay. So every industry we can bring here is going to contribute to our property tax base and should make our property taxes as the people of Mississippi lower. I get, these data centers, they're coming in, they got boatloads of money. They're supposed to be paying lots of property tax. I want to take this opportunity to use and create a reset of our property tax system across the state to reduce the people's tax burden, not only on property tax, but we were sold a bill of goods on this income tax. We were told it was eliminated last year, and actually it's not. I mean, it's maybe in 20 years. I want to accelerate that, get that tax relief in place at the same time as put a moratorium on these other tax increases. They went up on our fuel taxes 3 cents a gallon for 3 years. Absolutely ridiculous. Now look at what we're paying at the pump, and I'm sick of that. We pay too much in taxes. I believe in reducing our taxes on all fronts and living within our means. And not only that, but we're paying a lot of sales tax. We're taxed every time we turn around. All right, you look at it, you're taxed on every dollar you earn. income, sales whenever you buy something. There's a death tax whenever you die, inheritance tax in some cases, then property taxes just for the right to have your home. I want to increase the homestead exemption and basically do what Florida is doing and roll back those property taxes for folks who own a home. That'll incentivize home ownership. That'll let more people buy a home, make it more affordable to own a home. But the big problem we have with property tax is it's so different from county to county. You may be doing a great job in Lauderdale County, but somebody over in the Delta, that county is not. The same piece of property in Lauderdale is taxed 3 or 4 times that much in Sunflower County. I'm just using that, just pulling that out of there. The Constitution requires that property tax be fair and uniform across the state, and that is not happening. So I want to work with the counties, with the supervisors, to find a way to take this opportunity of these big data centers that are paying so many millions in here, and let's reset our property tax system that's fair and uniform and reduces the tax burden for our people without sacrificing services and without hurting the services that need to be done, like law enforcement. We have to support the basic services of government.
Currently, the way it is, you really never own your property.
You never own your property.
It's gotten out of hand.
It's out of hand.
And a lot of people are going to do this with these data centers. They're not going to lower the taxes because they don't want to lower the amount of money they get from the data centers. So the average Joe out there gets damaged by this of people wanting to hang on to these higher rates. I don't know the answer, but who you elect is very important, folks. It's worrisome to me. What keeps you up at night?
What do we pass on to our kids, Dad?
Well, at some point, we have to realize that these data centers are, that's not something that's going to be a long-term, something that are a legacy for our young people to inherit. There's going to come a point at which enough is enough, all right? I don't know what that point is, but there will come a point at which we'll have enough data centers in Mississippi. And I'm one who believes we cannot sacrifice our agricultural way of life, our rural way of life, but most importantly, our food production. I mean, if we can't feed ourselves, we are wasting our time. Public safety, food production, economic growth, we can do all that, but we have to have a balanced approach, and we need to do it in a way that reduces our property tax and all tax burdens, not raises the tax burdens.
So that's something to think on there. Lots going on this morning. We welcome y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Don't forget to get those birthdays into us. We're going to tell those in a few moments.
Yeah, we got a little list. Help keep it growing.
All right, we'll be right back. More coming up.
Yeah, our system went out at the worst possible time, so we called environment masters, and the technician came out pretty quickly. Did a lot of troubleshooting. He explained to me what the issue was, and it turned out it was an easy fix, and had us up pretty quickly.
Our technicians don't just pass a test and then go to work. We have continuous on-site training both on equipment and customer care. Our senior technicians each have decades of experience and are always available. There's literally nothing that our team hasn't seen, so you can trust we know what we are doing. That's hassle-free plumbing and AC.
Spring is here, grass is growing, and your mower, it's still not ready. Don't fight it another season. Head to Parrish Tractor for our Kubota zero-turn spring deals. Right now, you can get into a new Kubota zero-turn Z232 KW42 mower for just $5,299 or as low as $125 a month. More than a tractor store.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie. We've had a boo-boo this morning in Newton County. Let me get over here to Newton County and show you what's going on. I had it marked, and I don't know what I've done with it. But we've just had a boo-boo here in Newton County. This is going to be at the intersection of Decatur in the middle of school traffic. So y'all watch that. That's kind of holding up traffic there for a few moments. And they'll get that cleaned up. The police are headed in that direction. That just happened a few moments ago.
Hot off the press.
Yes, sir. And I want to bring this up also. We had a situation yesterday that happened at Southeast. I'm going to read you, as we got a statement from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. out at Southeast Middle School. A suspicious package was found yesterday. The administration at the middle school was alerted to a report of a suspicious small box on campus. They immediately located the item and contacted law enforcement. After evaluating it, it was determined to pose no threat. Lauderdale County School District protocols and procedures were followed throughout the situation to ensure the safety of all the students there. That's what went on. It wasn't anything to do, and it goes on to say that the people that are involved with this will be held accountable through youth court, is what we're learning on this. Maybe more will come out of this. It does involve minors, so names are not going to be brought up with this, but that was the situation that went on yesterday at Southeast. If you saw a large presence of police, that's what was going on. And
Wow.
So you need to know these things that go on in the community of what's happening there. And we got to say congratulations to Thomas. Let me pull up old Thomas's picture. He was with the Meridian Star for umpteen dozen years. He's going to be working for the county now in public affairs. So congratulations to Thomas. We wish him well with his new endeavor as he helps out the Board of Supervisors in the county throughout the county there. So good luck with that.
Coming on board.
All right, as we were talking about, let's talk about car tags. Boy, that's like a big nasty. Not only do you have to pay a lot to fuel pumps and then they take it out of your check, by the time you get down to the courthouse and you buy a new car, man, you get hit.
I got my car tag bill on a 2002 pickup truck that I have, and it had so many different confusing, this fee, that fee, this credit, that credit, that's extra tax. We have to do a total redo on our car tags. Make it fair, make it sustainable without hurting the county services. We need to look at that from the top down. And I'll tell you what I want to do and what I will do. On day one, when I'm elected your governor, we're going to have a pro-family tax reform package that involves car tags and property taxes. Right now, married couples, there's a tax penalty, all right? You're paying more taxes if you're married than you are if you're single. That's a policy that is backward. We need to be promoting and incentivizing marriage and having families and staying here in Mississippi and education. And I will propose a total reform of our tax system that will enhance and promote those things, pro-family tax credits, make it cheaper to get a car. If you, by encouraging marriage, by encouraging folks to stay married, go ahead and eliminate that income tax for folks who are married and who are staying married, and eliminate that penalty, all right, that they're paying extra tax on, and at the same time promote a reduction in our taxes as a whole. I think that's the direction we have to go. You look at poverty in this state, which is a huge crisis. You can tie it back to the breakdown of the family, and the only way we're ever going to change that is to get people back to understanding family is the way that God designed for society to function. You have strong families, you're going to have a strong city, a strong county, community. You have families that are broken and torn apart, and unwed mothers and absentee fathers. Society will suffer, and we see that. So we have to go put in place policies that will promote the basic family the way God designed it. And I want to get those car tags down more than anybody. It's not right. It's not
you buy a new car and it will scare you.
And again, it's not being applied equally or fairly from county to county. Depending on where you live, it may that same car may be taxed 3 times as much as it is in another county, just by the virtue of the way this thing has evolved over time. So we'll do a full-scale reform at the Department of Revenue. We will propose legislative packages that will bring some common sense and some understanding, just some really clear rules about what it's going to cost if you buy a car, and policies that will promote the family here in Mississippi. That, I believe, is the most important thing we can actually do.
We've got casinos, and we've got the lottery, and we've got all these new deals that came out, especially with this lottery that's bringing in this money. Do you feel that the money that the state's making on it is going to where it needs to go?
I really don't. I do not believe that it's going where it needs to go. I know there were good intentions. All these funds were set up over the years. At the same time, the legislature every year looks at the budget and takes money for here to prioritize this. Right now, there's a big push, for example, for teacher pay raises. I'm not against a teacher pay raise, but there's a lot of state employees and county employees that hadn't had a raise in 20 years. It's something that it's a matter of priorities, and we have to prioritize those funds where they were intended to go to support education, to support our roads and bridges. And instead of just upping the taxes on our people who keep paying more and more and more tax, we need to be better stewards of the use of our funds and to make sure that the monies and the revenues that are already there recurring get to where they need to go.
How many times have we heard politicians through the years, well, if we do this lottery, we're going to use this and our schools won't cost us anything, or we're going to pay for it, and it's never used. We blew through that tobacco money like it was a blue light sale at Kmart.
Exactly, and it's something that, year after year after year, people, there are new priorities that come about, and I think what we need to do is take a long view. Let's look at what are the priorities that we have as a state for the next 10, 20 years. I've already told you some of mine: law enforcement, public safety, food production and food security, food supply, healthier eating. These are things that we need to really focus on. If you invest in those today, you'll have a return on them later on. But when we do this year to year, well, what's the fashionable thing to talk about this year? We've lost our direction. We need to get Mississippi back on a conservative path to put in place policies that will strengthen our families, keep our children skilled and able to find a good job, motivate them to work, and stay here in Mississippi to do the work that has to be done, that needs to be done for the better future of this state. Now, I'm not a $1 million politician, all right? There's lots of them out there. You can find politicians that have millions and millions, and you're going to see a lot of money spent. But the fact of the matter is, I want to bring the office of governor back to the people. I think people are tired of elections being bought and sold on who has the most money. I want to get it back to the people who actually have a voice, that we understand what needs to be done, and be responsive to the wishes and will of the people rather than lobbyists and folks who have a big pocketbook. Now, no disrespect to anybody else out there, but that's where I'm coming from. And I get that. I want to be the governor who brings this office back to the people, not to the special interests, not to the powers that be, not to the same old way of doing things. I'm a different kind of candidate with a different kind of vision, a brighter vision for Mississippi's future. And I humbly, sincerely ask for your vote and for your support.
Well, let me ask this: as you say that, have you had time? And I know it's early as this campaign begins. Have you had time to set up campaign offices? And if somebody wants to help with setting up stuff to help you, how do they go about that?
Well, yeah, I've got a website. The best thing to do is go to my website, Andy Gibson. That's Gibson with a P, Gipson, AndyGibson.com. And when you go there, you can find ways to volunteer. We have a lot of people across the state who are volunteering. If you want yard signs, you can buy merchandise there. If you could go to contribute, you can actually purchase yard signs and other campaign items there. But you can give, you can donate, and we are building up a team of grassroots supporters and volunteers. We're going around, okay? I want to be like, I want to be, in some extent, like Donald Trump, going around the lobbyists, going around the special interests, going right to the people. I know and I understand the people of Mississippi, and I want your support. And together, we're going to win this thing. I don't know who else is going to run. I have no ill intent against anybody. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for the people of Mississippi, for the future of this state.
And that's what your website looks like as you take a look at that.
You can check me out. I mean, I'm a pretty open book. I've been around a long time. Been ag commissioner now going on 10 years. And so people, if you're looking for somebody with a proven track record of leadership, of conservative principles, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to say one thing and do another. I kind of am who I am, and you can like it. Not everybody does, and that's all right. But I think the people of Mississippi understand we're at a pivotal moment, and the decisions we make with these data centers and how many we're going to allow in here and how it's going to affect our taxes, these are going to have long-term effects. I want to make wise decisions today so that we have a brighter future for Mississippi tomorrow.
I think a lot of people agree with that.
Well, it's skilled labor. I mean, our studio sponsor is Environment Masters, and they do your electrical, they do plumbing, they do heat and AC. And that type of work is going to be needed for the rest of our time. And they're going to rely on new people coming up with that type of skilled labor. Yeah. Tractors, if we're going to talk about a lot of farming, we've got to have tractors. They've got to be maintained. All of this stuff goes back to skilled labor, and I like what your thoughts are on that and how you want to drive more skilled labor and the education behind it. I think that's a huge deal for Mississippi.
It absolutely is. And I want to throw one other thing out there, one other wrinkle in this whole conversation is AI. And I'm not a big AI fan. I was AI before there was AI. I'm AI certified by the American Breeders Service for breeding the cattle, all right? Farmers out there get that. So every time I talk about AI, I feel a little weird, all right? But the future of artificial intelligence, AI, nobody really knows how this is going to change our state, how many jobs it's going to take, how many robots are going to be doing people's jobs. Why? We absolutely have to get our young people skilled up, and not just to do those jobs, but to manage whatever technology may come. Working with Mississippi State, working with our land-grant institutions, working with our community colleges to make sure young people are able to manage these systems, whatever they may be. If we can bring back all of our agriculture processing from foreign countries here, we're going to need young people who can manage these systems and produce our own food, our own fiber, our own shelter. And that's critical, y'all. It's critical for the future of this state and of this country as a whole.
I agree with that. We'll be right back. Get those birthdays to us. We're going to do those next here in just a second as we continue the Scotty Ray Report.
Welcome to Parker's Wholesale, located on I-59 South at Exit 80. Easy to find. Huge building. They're loaded up with toys, all your seasonal items. It's clean, it's neat, it's easy to shop. They got gloves, they got bolts of material for the people that want to redo stuff. They got plumbing, electrical, hunting items, fishing items, everything for all your needs. Go by and see them, Parker's Wholesale.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie as we begin. Let me ask this. We had a vote in the United States last week. There's a slush fund that is set up in Congress, and it basically, if they get in trouble for maybe harassment, sexual harassment in a lot of cases, it's paid off. And it was a vote that came up to release the names of those who've used that money, and it was voted down. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's corrupt. It's a sign, as an evidence of corruption in our system that, frankly, is it's been going on a long time.
It has.
And the same sort of corruption you see with these Epstein files, perpetrators who are not being held accountable. I think they all ought to be held accountable. And if our tax dollars are being used to cover something up or to settle something out, I think the taxpayers ought to know who it's supporting, who it's helping. I understand that there's need for confidentiality in some circumstances, but this is a different type of deal. Taxpayers are paying for this. Mm-hmm. And look, I served in the legislature long enough to know that this kind of problem is out there. There is corruption at every level of government, not just the state legislature. We have mostly good people in our state legislature, but it's in Congress too. And when this type of thing happens, it needs to be dealt with directly and not overlooked or swept under the rug.
I'm glad you said that, because I have had that brought up to me over the past week more and more, and going, why? Mm-hmm. And I don't have an answer for it.
Why would you vote against releasing who's using tax dollars for that? And why would you vote against having Americans only voting in American elections?
Bingo. I mean, it's common
those two
sense. The most common sense bill in history, all right, that you have to be an American citizen to vote in this country, and they can't even get it passed out of the Senate. Now,
that is sad, isn't it?
It's sad, and it's because the power division is so close. So many Republicans, so many Democrats. There's only one or two separating them. But my goodness, if we can't get a bipartisan agreement on that, where are we headed as a country?
Exactly.
The elections that we cast our vote in are sacred. People have fought and died.
Yep.
We have the right to do that, and only American citizens should have the right to vote in those elections.
I agree.
Definitely.
Vicky, you're right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you have a wonderful one there. Don't forget that green, as we all in this room have done today.
Oops.
I'm going to get my 4-H pen.
I'm going to have some green on.
I'm going to find a pen.
Man, yeah.
We hope you have a great day and get out and enjoy yourself today. Now, don't forget your jacket, because you can sit in your house and you forget and you run out and it hits you about when you reach that doorknob on your truck. So grab your jacket and keep that with you no matter what today.
Even I'm in long sleeves today.
And that's
I
one of
don't
those.
wear long sleeves.
That's one of them good thick ones there.
Yes,
It'll keep
it
you
is.
warm. We got any birthdays there, Otis?
We do, and Commissioner Gibson, when I get through with this, I want to ask you to say a little word, but we're going to touch on these birthdays. Joe Collins, happy birthday, Joe. Old buddy there, retired from Meridian Fire Department. Joanne Robinson, enjoying her retirement from being over 911, and hope you have a wonderful birthday. Another one of them fellers, we call him the Casserole Casanova. R.W. Williams has got a birthday today. Another retired member of Meridian Fire Department and out at the Air Guard. Leah Lockley, Barry Branning. Lisa Branning had a birthday yesterday, and Denver Dodson had a birthday Sunday. So happy birthday. And then you had, let's see, Allison Newell.
And I have to say this about Allison. Allison Jernigan was her maiden name. I could, how things stick with you through the years. We were about 17, and some other girl flirted with her boyfriend. And I will never forget that whooping that happened at 17 years old. That girl never flirted with her boyfriend ever again. It was over. Hold my earrings.
Probably didn't flirt with nobody else's boyfriend neither, did she?
That was one of those life lessons that happened.
Oh, man.
It has been a wonderful morning. And Andy, for those who have just tuning in, this is Andy Gibson, agricultural commissioner here in the great state of Mississippi, who is running for governor. And we can't say thank you enough for coming and spending a little time with us.
Oh, man, I enjoyed it. I always do. This is my kind of place, you're my kind of people, and I just want to thank you for having me today. Really enjoyed it.
We turn and ask you to do a Bible verse for us as we close out the show.
Yeah. Well, being as we are heading into the season that we remember the cross, Good Friday, and the resurrection, Easter Sunday, I was reminded this morning of Isaiah 53:5, where Jesus is predicted 700 years before Jesus would ever be born. The prophet Isaiah had these words to write: He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. And it's a reminder to me that because Jesus was faithful, he endured every suffering, every pain, every temptation, just like we do, yet he never sinned. And he chose willingly to lay down his life on the cross of Calvary in our place, in my place, in Andy Gibson's place, and in your place too. So I thank God for Jesus. He died for us. He was bruised for our transgressions, but by his stripes, thank God, we are healed. And Amen. He's alive. He's alive. Can I pray?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Lord, we thank you as we enter this season of the year. Lord, we're heading quickly into Good Friday and Easter Sunday. And Lord, we just pause to thank you for giving yourself. You said in your word, Lord, that no man took your life. You willingly laid it down. And that no greater love has anyone than this, than to lay down their life for their friends. God, I thank you that you chose to go to the cross and die in my place for my sins. Lord, thank you for saving me. And Lord, I thank you for saving everyone out there who's put their faith in Jesus Christ. Bless them. Keep us, Lord, in your will. Help us to do what you've called us to do. Thank you, Lord, that by your stripes we are healed. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We do appreciate that. Of course, Andy Gibson, running for governor of the great state of Mississippi. Thank y'all for watching that. Did you have anything
Good
you need
deal.
to close
Yeah,
on?
we need to. Lou and Stephanie Foley had an anniversary yesterday, and I must have missed it somewhere, but we apologize. So happy anniversary to Lou and Stephanie Foley yesterday.
We'll see you somewhere on the streets throughout the area today. Thank you. God bless, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
See y'all.